Hi, my name is David Fleming from Disciples Ignited, and we are studying Gems in John, devotional thoughts throughout the Gospel of John. Now, today we're going to continue reading in John chapter 12 how Jesus is teaching his disciples that he is soon going to be put to death. And then he says this, very interesting. I'll be reading it to you, verse 27 and 28. Let me read it to you from the NIV. Jesus said, "Now my soul is troubled. And what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, it was for this very reason I came to this hour." Then Jesus says, "Father, glorify your name." Wow. You know, if we were talking about our impending death that was going to be being crucified, which was a horrendous way to be put to death, would we say, "This is for my glory"? Would we want to cry out to God and say, "Father, save me from this hour"? Well, I believe so. But Jesus said, "No, I'm not going to cry out to God and ask him to spare me from the very purpose that I was sent." No, Jesus was going to fulfill his destiny. He was a man that was focused on his mission. He was focused on fulfilling the will of God, just as we should be. Jesus knew that he had been called to the cross. And so he wasn't about to cry out to his Father and say, "Father, save me from this hour." No. Instead, he said, "Father, I want your name to be glorified." You know, Jesus has been teaching throughout chapter 12 about his own death, but then he points us to us. And he says, "Listen, you too must follow my example. You're going to have to die to yourself." And then Jesus says, "Listen, I'm going to fulfill my destiny, but will you fulfill your destiny? If you are, it's going to require that you die to yourself." So are you going to be crying out to God, "Lord, don't ask this of me. Lord, spare me from this"? No, let's follow the example of Jesus and say, "Father, glorify your name." Father, glorify Jesus in the way that you use me. Father, glorify Jesus in the path that you have put me on. Glorify Jesus through my life. Yes, it is going to involve dying to ourselves, but it's going to glorify Jesus, and it's going to end with God honoring us through eternity. Oh, the ways of the Lord are far above our ways. And yes, they do involve dying to ourselves, just as Jesus was called to the cross. We are called to bear our cross, which meant that we have to die to ourselves daily. But Jesus does it willingly. He embraces it. May we too embrace that which God requires of us as we follow Jesus. It's a wonderful life, and it's an honor, even when it involves dying to ourselves. Think about that. And join with me tomorrow as we share another gem in the Gospel of John. See you then.